Oh, ow. My tooth is like not chipped, right? I'm super excited to do this video today because it's focusing on one of my favorite things of all time, which is skin. This is my own personal foundation routine, how I make my makeup long wearing, how I layer the products. It's honestly really weird, but I promise I'll make it as easy as possible. If you're new here, hi, my name is Miss Megan Robinson. Come hang out with me and let me show you how I do my skin. So keep on watching. Okay, so we are barefaced right now. I just have my eyes done. I have some soap in my brows and I have a bit of lip conditioner on. But we're gonna go right in with primer. So I like Natural Radiance primer. Have to go first because they're literally what your makeup, it creates a barrier between your skin and the makeup. Everything to sit on top of that. Okay, so the next step, which is a little bit like unconventional, is gonna go in with transparent powder. Now, my favorite one is the Dermablend Illuminating Banana Powder. I don't have that, and then I ran out of my Studio Fix Perfecting Powder, so I just have this Revolution powder that I literally just put it in the palm of my hand like this. I take a big fluffy brush. I feel like I'm talking to all of my like little Instagram babies because we all talk about skin over there so much. So this video is for you. Basically what this is gonna do is it's attaching to the primer, and then it's gonna create an extra barrier that like oil or sweat would need to break through to prevent your makeup from being long wearing. So next step that's super crucial is Fix Plus, because I'm gonna be going in with a liquid foundation, so I need to make sure that the surface is wet and not the texture of a powder. This is my holy grail of foundation, face and body. Obsessed forever with this guy. My favorite brush to apply this with is this brush from e.l.f. And I'm gonna start pressing it into the skin. And the reason you wanna press it is you can't forget that that powder is there. Even though you can't see it, that texture is still there. Now, the shade that I'm wearing is C3, so it's my self tanner color, which is why my skin looks deeper as we apply it. I don't really put self tanner on my face. And my body naturally tans to this color. And I'm picking something darker because if I picked my actual skin tone, when I go in to like lighten with concealer and stuff like that, the face would be too light overall. More Fix Plus. Okay, then next I like to color correct under my eyes. So I'm gonna go in with Bright Forecast, which is the Prep and Prime highlighting pen. And the reason I like this so much is the formula is lighter in texture than a concealer and reflects light. So it's very natural, it keeps your concealer on. And because I like to layer so much, it's great because it doesn't get too thick. So both of these layers of my skin are like very thin. So you can still see little bits of like little imperfections, freckles, beauty marks, whatever. And it's gonna grip the more makeup that I put on top of it. Okay, the next two things I like to use are the Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation and then Strobe Face Glaze. Strobe Face Glaze was limited in the summer. If it's still online, that's awesome. If it's not, I'm really sorry. I've talked about this foundation for a minute because it's amazing. It's one of my favorites. The difference between this and like a standard, another type of foundation is this is a concentration of pigment. So for every little drop, the intensity stays the same. So you can never actually shear this foundation out. It literally carries the full coverage all the way through, which is why it's in a smaller bottle. And it needs to sit on a more moisturized or hydrated skin because that's how it spreads. If you just put this like on bare skin, it's gonna be like an incredibly full coverage that will still look great. You're just gonna go through the product faster. I like the Strobe Face Glaze because it works like a mixing medium. So I like to mix that in to give a little bit more radiance. So I'll just do a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna take that same brush and I just work it in. And I make sure I work all of it in. I don't want too much left on the back of my hand. I know that it's inside the brush, and I'm gonna highlight and give more coverage to the center portion of my face. Oh, I didn't contour. How could I forget that? That was supposed to be next. Let's backtrack. Next products I'm gonna use are the Soft Matte Foundation Sticks. Just obsessed with these because it's a stick formula. It's literally what the name says. It's soft and it's matte. So even if you put a ton on, it doesn't go too heavy. So this can work as your, depending on what shade you pick up, it could be your foundation color, it could be your concealer color, it could be a highlight color, it could be a contour color. I use NC60 for contour. And I put the NC38 down first because I just like the NC60 to buff into something. The NC60 has a little bit of like a gray tone to it, which I like. I'm gonna take a 130 and start buffing that into the foundation. This routine is tried and true, is that what you say? This routine is tried and true. I've been mastering, honestly, my skin for quite a few years now for something that like works for my routine. My regular routine is I would get up at like 4:30 in the morning. I would need to do my actual like full makeup for work, but I was going to the gym. So I needed to find something that like a routine, a skin routine that could last through a workout, plus travel, plus getting to work, and then working with that same makeup on. I don't have the time to, I hate touching up, first of all, don't like it at all. And I just don't have time for it either. So I needed something that could handle, you know, long days and sweating and now masks and shit like that. And I've had other people pick up techniques from this and they've incorporated into their routines and it's now their new thing. So there's definitely elements of this that you can add to your makeup routine, or you can just do this whole thing. And I'm just going to clean up any edges as we go. So again, we've added quite a bit of product, but you can still see little spots on the skin because it is really thin. My next favorite item ever is Shape Tape, and I'm gonna use medium. And this is gonna be my first concealer, and these ones run a little bit warmer. Like I know they kind of look yellow on camera, but they're warmer and a little bit more beige. So it adds more coverage and more color correcting for me because I love looking super bright under the eye. When your makeup takes a little bit longer, like don't ever set your makeup right away because you stop it from warming up on the skin. What you ideally want when you're doing your makeup is you want it to move around. You want to see where it gathers so that you can just go in and take out the extra product before you set it. Like that's normal. The internet has made people think that makeup is not supposed to like ever move or crease or see it, and it's just, that's a lie. Loving it so far. Because I know that I'm pretty much done with my contour, I'm gonna go in with bronzer. So I'm gonna go in with the Studio Fix powder. I'm wearing NW30, so opposite undertone to my skin and obviously a couple shades darker, and I'm gonna use that as bronzer. And the reason I like to use these, you don't ever get that like weird orangey, bronzery, glittery, like bronzing is a technique. It is not a product. One of my absolute favorite products is Studio Fix 24-Hour Concealer. It's considered my brightening concealer. So I like to take this throughout the center portion of the face to brighten and highlight. One of my favorite tricks ever is with concealer, when you let it sit on the skin, it begins to kind of set and congeal. So it gets thicker and you get more coverage from it. So don't put your concealer, like if you want coverage, don't put your concealer down and blend it in right away. Let it warm up on the skin. So for me, I'll do like the eye area last because I want that to have the most coverage. When you do the concealer under here, you're bringing it up the sides of the nose because that's going to further help shape the nose as well. While it's still setting, I'm going to just amp up the contour slightly. So you obviously know that we put powder down, but because of all the Fix Plus we're using, I have all the playtime in the world with my skin. with this, don't worry about if you get products down here. Obviously, try not to. You can just go back in with that foundation brush and push it into the skin. And then I'm gonna do the nose, but I'm not changing it. I'm literally just kind of enhancing its own shape. And if you wear as much like bronzing products and blush and stuff like that, you do want to have something on your nose. I can't stop looking at myself, or else it'll look kind of weird. Make sure that we use the Fix Plus to marry all the products together. So Fix Plus, you don't have to use just at the end. The glycerin that's in it, which hydrates the skin, is also what binds the makeup together. So it helps each layer. So instead of your makeup sitting like this with every single layer, it goes on and then it sits like this. So it like becomes one, and so on. When you put a lot of Fix Plus down, just let it kind of air dry. Like while it's still wet, if you touch it, of course it's gonna move. Do its thing. And if we do a texture check, we know we have a ton of product down and you can still see little spots. That's what I want. It looks like I'm wearing super full coverage foundation, but it's really not. I'm gonna finish my eyes, so it's another thing too. I like a lot of concealer, so it doesn't make sense to put the eye product down. I'm gonna go finish my eyes and then come back. Okay, my eyes are done, and we're gonna go back to, I don't even know what I wanna do right now. I like a lot of blush, so I usually use multiple things. So Natural is one of my favorites. I've been liking a brush with it lately. Kind of start towards the back of the eyebrow and work in just like a small little U shape. Clay blushes are like a cream powder hybrid, so they're squishy to the touch. Humor Me is another one of my favorites, and I like to use a 137. Noticed all my brushes have been dirty, but that's because a dirty brush just applies makeup better. If you clean your face brushes like every single time you use it, it just doesn't apply in the same way. That's nice. I want a little bit more bronzer. This one's just got like a smidge more red to it. I'm taking more of that powder. So this Beauty Blender, compared to like the original Beauty Blender, this makes the product more full coverage. Don't know how that works, but that's what it does. Through the center. And it's okay if you go over the brow as well, because I haven't done my brows yet. Right under the eye and down the sides of the nose. I try and keep the product just in the front, like the inside part of the eye, and not this area, because I don't want texture there. Okay, then I'm taking that same fluffy brush from before and I'm just buffing away the extra. So this is helping to lock in all those layers, but remember, it's gonna leave you quite matte, which I don't want. So you can see where no powder has been. That's just like the natural dewiness from foundation. I'm gonna go back into Fix Plus. It's just gonna rehydrate the powder so that I don't look powdery, but I still get all the benefits of the powder. I'm gonna go into Soft and Gentle for a highlight. And I'm gonna just tap it. And the wetness from the Fix Plus will also amplify it a bit. This is another very loved product of mine, the Sculpt and Shape palette. So make your life simple, just run your brush along the bottom. And this really just only goes, so, okay, let's have a little lesson right now. So now I'm contouring just in the hollow of the cheekbone, not everywhere, because like if you look here, a shadow on the skin is gray. It is not orange or red, so you don't contour with those colors. When you want to find like where your cheek contour should be, when you look straight ahead and you tilt your head, a natural shadow will occur, and that's what you're basically emphasizing. Do we want more blush? Discontinued, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take a smidge of that and buff it to the front of the cheek. I did that. That's it. That's the look. I'm so excited to have finally shared my skin with you. I know that I have content that has it, but this feels a little bit more official. It's 100% up to date. Really hope that you guys like this. I hope that this encourages you to try stuff outside your comfort zone and do stuff you love and not what other people tell you to love. I hope that you try this whole routine. I hope that you pick up some different tips and tricks to incorporate it into your own routine. And if you do, please let me know. Let me know in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram at Miss Megan Robinson. If you don't already, you can follow me on TikTok under the same name at Miss Megan Robinson as well. And if you don't already know, I have a series here on YouTube with my girl Kayla Bliss on her channel and my channel, and we eat food, we roast each other, we play with makeup. It's a very fun time. So if that sounds like something you like, make sure you check out her channel as well as the playlist on my channel. That's all I got for you today. So until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.